Hey, what's up guys, Euro94 back with another action figure review, and today we are looking at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts, the Mandalorian, and the Child figure. I'm going to go ahead and review these two at the same time because I don't see a reason why I should upload a separate video just for the Child, since it's such a small, quick review for a figure. We are just going to look at them both together here. So we just recently got the regular armor. Now we're getting the Beskar armor for SH Figuarts. Companies are wasting no time releasing these Mandalorian figures and merchandise, and it is quite obvious why. So let's get right into the review. Let's check out what we have in store for us. So here's the front of the box. On the side we get images of the figures, and then on the back side as well. You may note that this figure comes with a lot more accessories than the first release with the regular armor. Makes you wonder, man, they probably could have packed this guy in here somewhere and definitely made it a one single release instead of a separate one. I don't see anybody buying the Child on its own without Mando, or buying Mando on its own without the Child, but I don't know. And for those of you interested in these, I think these should be up on BigBadToyStore.com, so check out the links in the description below where you guys can order yourself a set of these here. And we'll start off by just looking at the figure here and just admiring how well they did with the sculpt here. I'm actually a fan of the first release. I heard a lot of people disliked the first Figuarts Mandalorian because of the small head on that figure. I didn't feel like that figure had a small head. Maybe it could have been a little bit bigger because it's a helmet. But it really didn't bother me too much. So this one doesn't bother me either. I think it might be the same size. I don't think they fixed it. But I don't feel like it's too small in my opinion. I think it looks fine. So overall, I think they captured the look very nicely. Now with the Child here, I think they could have made the green a little bit darker. It's a little bit too bright for my liking. Doesn't seem as accurate as it could have been. And then the soft goods are okay. I like the soft goods that they were showing in the prototype images. Looks like they changed it when they mass produced it, so it doesn't look as good as the prototype pictures, unfortunately, for me, in my opinion. Now with that being said, Mandalorian comes with a ton of accessories, especially compared to the first release. There's a lot of fun things going on here, a lot of effects. I like what they're doing here. It gives you an incentive to buy this in case you didn't want to buy another Mandalorian, in case you didn't care about the Beskar armor. Now you're getting all these accessories included that the first one did not come with. So let's go ahead and run through that real quick. First up, we get the jetpack. Of course, he got this towards the end of Season 1, and now he has a jetpack with the Beskar armor Figuarts. We also do get an alternate pauldron here with the insignia right here, or the sigil, I think is what they called it, of the Mudhorn, if I can get it to focus. And there we go, finally got it to focus. Looks good. We got the Mudhorn sigil here on the side, so you got an option of whether or not you want him to have the sigil, up to you. We then get a forearm piece for his flamethrower, so we get a flamethrower effect, shooting effect, alternate of course, so you can swap that out. That's cool, it's something brand new. We get his dagger here that he used to get in a little fight with the heavy Mandalorian, the heavy infantry Mandalorian. We of course get his rifle, which we got in the first release, but we now get an alternate barrel with the effect on the end of it, which is really cool, so I like that quite a bit. And going along with the jetpack, we do get effect pieces for the jetpack right here. So if you want to pose him like he's flying, then you can do so with these effects. And another cool effect, we get the whistling birds effect here in mid-flight, or he just shot it, so I like that. Got the smoke effects with the actual projectiles right there on the end of it. Those of you who had the first release of the Mandalorian, we all know how we had to go through that little trouble of putting it on his back. We get the alternate piece here. It's the same deal. They didn't change it. That's one thing I wish they would change, because it's pretty tedious to get this on to his back. Of course, get his blaster pistol and an alternate holster there, because right now he has a molded one on his holster right here. So you just gotta swap out the holsters and then have an alternate actual pistol in his hand. And as you can see right now, he has a pair of fists on the figure. For hands, we get an alternate open set of hands like this. Another set of open hands, but the fingers are spread apart differently here. We get a new pair of grabbing hands. These are to grab the dagger. We get a right trigger finger hand and a left grabbing hand. And here's an alternate right trigger finger hand, and then we get a left hand with the dragon fob molded onto it there, which is pretty cool. For the child, we have an alternate head where he has his eyes closed, so he could be sleeping or he could be using the force. And then we have one more, which is with the ears posed down a little lower than usual. And he's kind of angry there, it seems like. We get alternate arms for the little child here, which have pegs so he can hold his little soup bowl right here. See the pegs there, so you can recreate that scene from the Mandalorian. And then of course we get the hover pram, which is a cool accessory to include. Finally somebody includes the hover pram. I think Hasbro still hasn't included it yet. They just announced a new deluxe 2-pack, and I think it does include it finally, but that was 2 Mandalorian figure releases later. But here it is for the SH Figuarts. It's got the top part, and this is the first hover pram too. The one he used in the beginning before he got the new one. And lastly, we get a base and a stand for the hover pram, and then there's a blanket there so we can wrap the child or baby Yoda in it. And here's a closer look at the Mandalorian Beskar armor up close. You can take a look at the detail and sculpt of the figure itself. The paint job's done very nice as always by Bandai Tamashii. The sculpt looks good. Don't see any issues at all yet. We got the soft goods cape on the back here, which I guess could have been better, but it's alright. Looks pretty decent to me. Doesn't look too bad. And then there's the helmet that everybody complains about right there. I mean, I guess it could have been a tad bit bigger. And then there is a closer look at the child. So let's run through the articulation. We got the head going up and down, left and right. Got some good nice head tilts here. Arms can go forward and back, in and out. Pretty good range. The pauldrons are on this hinge here, so it doesn't hinder anything. We have a butterfly joint at the... We have a socket joint at the shoulders, not a butterfly joint. Bicep swivel. We have a double jointed elbow with a swivel at the wrist and a hinge on that ball joint. Diaphragm joint will swivel, go back and forward, swivel at the waist as well, but it's kind of stiff. And you just probably saw this piece, which is the strap to hold the rifle, falls off, just like the first Mandalorian figure. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be annoying, but it's something we got to deal with, I guess. Legs are going to kick forward. They don't drop down, so they kick forward about this far, which isn't that great, to be honest. I mean, I guess you can twist it. They go in and out like that. We get thigh swivel. We have double jointed knees, hinge at the ankle, rocker, swivel, and then the toe hinge at the foot there. As for the Baby Yoda figure, this guy's kind of stiff. I mean, he looks kind of weird. I'm not trying to get weird here looking under here, but the way they articulated this figure underneath, you can see they did some weird stuff with the actual figure so he can actually be articulated, because if they try to actually mold a body, it probably wouldn't be articulated. But with that being said, the arms are super stiff, at least on mine. I don't see how I can move it, and just based off how these arms looked right here, they don't have any elbow joints, of course, just a ball jointed shoulder. It doesn't move too much. They went with a plastic hard piece for the wristband of the outfit, and the collar part of it is kind of okay. It's just this slides off, and then you just kind of see like a bracelet looking effect with that cuff, but you just got to get the sleeve onto it, I guess. It's alright. I mean, I don't know. I'm not too ecstatic about this figure. It looks good, but I think I like the Black Series version better. So yeah, the legs are going to go forward and back on that hinge, and they do swivel at the foot, and that's about it. And the arms move around. The head moves around left and right. Doesn't really go up and down too much, though. Just get him quickly compared with the Black Series version right here. You can see the scale is very different. I think the Black Series version is a better scale. This Baby Yoda might be too big, especially when you kind of get him next to Mando or put him in his arms. He looks pretty big compared to what we're seeing him right now on the show. I mean, maybe eventually he'll grow to this size on the show. I'm sure he will. And then this figure will make sense because it'll be a bigger version of the child, because eventually he will grow. So I'm not freaking out too much about the size right now. As of now, as we're seeing the show, it's out of scale, but eventually I think it'll be in scale. If you want a smaller scale Baby Yoda and it's cheaper, you can get the Black Series version right here, and he looks a lot better in my opinion. So here he is next to the SH Figuarts Mandalorian, just a regular armor here. And notable differences aside from the actual paint job and the sculpt is the cape is a different material, it's a different texture to it, and a different, I guess, design to it. There's your look at them both side by side so you get an idea of what they look like next to each other. And here we have him next to the Star Wars, the Black Series version of the Beskar armor Mandalorian. And you can see how different they look. Now the helmet looks extra big on the Black Series one, not just because this one's kind of small, but because he doesn't have his cape on, or I'm probably saying that wrong, it's probably not a cape, but I'm just going to call it a cape. The cape that comes with this does not fit if you have the jetpack on, and I wanted to have the jetpack attached, so that's why I had to remove it. I wish they would have given us an alternate piece sculpted to the side so that you can display it with it on. That's one of the good things about having soft goods there, is you can display it in any direction, any way you want. You can see in terms of height, the Black Series is standing taller. Alright guys, and that's going to conclude my review of the SH Figuarts, Bandai Tamashii Nations, Star Wars The Mandalorian, Beskar Armor, and the Child. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, have a great day. Bye.
That's crispy.